Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into a genre that's all about shadows, secrets, and, well, let's face it, looking incredibly stylish while unraveling a good mystery. We're talking film noir.
And you're in the right place.
We've got all those classic noir films lined up for this deep dive, but don't worry, this isn't about memorizing names and dates. We're going for those aha moments, the insights that'll have you dropping film noir knowledge like a pro.
Exactly.
So no need to be a film scholar to follow along. You'll be prepped for any cocktail party conversation.
And you're right. It's more than just knowing the classics. It's about understanding what makes a film like, say, Double Indemnity still resonate decades later.
Right, timeless.
But maybe before we get too far ahead, let's set the stage. When we say film noir,
Right.
what exactly are we talking about? It's got to be more than just black and white, right?
Okay, so more than the look. I gotta admit, when I picture film noir, it's all trench coats and smoky jazz clubs.
Sure.
You know, Humphrey Bogart with that fedora pulled low, cigarette smoke, like he's carrying the weight of the world.
You're definitely hitting on something crucial there. Atmosphere. It's a feeling. Film noir is a genre drenched in shadows and moral ambiguity.
Okay.
Yes, there's crime, often pretty brutal and unforgiving, but it's the psychological landscape that truly sets noir apart.
So it's less about who done it and more about why they did it.
You could say that. It's a world where everyone seems to be hiding something. Those lines between good and evil, yeah, they get blurred a lot.
So not your typical heroes and villains, then.
Exactly, and that's where those iconic noir tropes come in. You've got your femme fatales, your cynical detectives, those down-on-their-luck protagonists. And these aren't just character types. They reflect the anxieties of the time. Remember, this classic era of film noir, it emerged after World War II.
A time of major upheaval.
Exactly. Disillusionment, uncertainty. Film noir gave a voice to all of that.
So these movies, they were tapping into something deeper, reflecting how people were feeling.
Precisely. Film noir gave a voice to that unease, to that sense that maybe the world wasn't so black and white anymore. And, you know, it's something that still resonates today.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't we all feel a little lost sometimes, like the world's gotten morally complicated?
Tell me about it. Okay, so we've got this backdrop of post-war anxiety. And against that, we get these, like you said, these tropes, these figures that really define film noir.
Yes.
And they pop up again and again on these top film noir lists. So let's unpack those, starting with...
Well, you can't talk film noir without mentioning the queen herself.
The femme fatale. Let's do it. The femme fatale. Let's do it.
The queen of noir. She's the one who can make a good man do bad things, all with a flick of her wrist or maybe a knowing glance.
So more than just a pretty face then, huh? I get that she's like alluring and mysterious.
Oh, absolutely. You see her in those smoky back rooms, all glamour and mystery. But the femme fatale, she's a force of nature disguised as a glamorous woman.
I like that. A force of nature.
She's smart, she's resourceful, and often driven by, well, you know, ambition, frustration, even revenge.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't always play by the rules.
She challenges those traditional roles of women in cinema, that's for sure. And honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes she's the only one in the film who actually knows what she wants.
Right. She's got a plan.
Exactly. Take Jean Tierney in Salt. Leave Her to Heaven, for instance.
Oh, I've heard that one's a classic.
She takes this femme fatale archetype to like a chilling extreme. On the surface, all elegance and charm. But underneath, there's this dangerous obsession, this willingness to eliminate anything or anyone standing in her way.
Wow. So we're not talking about a simple love triangle here.
Not even close.
I'm adding that one to my list.
Okay, so we've got these strong, complex women shaking things up. But on the flip side, you mentioned the cynical detectives. They always seem so, I don't know, world-weary.
They've seen it all, or at least they think they have.
Like they're carrying the weight of every bad decision ever made. And they probably are carrying some baggage, right? Think about that post-war disillusionment we were talking about.
Right, right. The world's not what it used to be.
The cynical detective. He embodies that. He's seen the worst of humanity, the dark side of the American dream, and he's not afraid to call it out.
Yeah, Bogart just nails that vibe.
He's the archetype.
But there's also this, I don't know, flicker of idealism beneath the surface.
Exactly. That's what makes them so interesting. They're trapped between the harsh realities they face and this lingering belief that maybe, just maybe, things could be different.
So it's a constant struggle.
Always. Do they succumb to the darkness or do they hold on to that shred of hope? So it keeps us guessing.
And then you've got those poor saps, the down-on-their-luck protagonists, often veterans, right?
A lot of times, yeah. They come home from war and the world.
Well, it's not what they expected. It feels alien, unforgiving.
They don't quite fit in anymore.
They're grappling with trauma, economic hardship, this sense that maybe their best days are behind them.
And that makes them vulnerable. Easy targets. Exactly. They get caught up in these schemes or situations that just spiral out of control.
Always one wrong turn away from disaster.
Precisely. And that resonates with audiences, don't you think? I mean, haven't we all felt that sense of vulnerability at some point?
Yeah.
That feeling that things could fall apart?
Oh, 100%. It's like
Yeah.
that feeling of, like, is this real life or is this a movie? But, like, not in a fun way.
And that's the beauty of film noir. These themes, they're timeless. Morality, betrayal, redemption.
It's about the human condition, really.
Exactly. It reflects those anxieties of its time, but it also speaks to these universal human experiences. That's why we're still talking about these films decades later.
Okay, so we've covered the major players. Femme fatales, the detectives, the guys just barely getting by. Now let's talk about the films themselves. You've got that list of must-sees.
Absolutely. And while taste is subjective, there are a few titles that consistently top the charts. Films that define the genre and show us what it can do. You'll see these tropes we've been talking about, but they'll come to life in captivating ways.
Hit me with your top picks. What should our listeners prioritize on their film noir journey? Hit me with your top picks. What should our listeners prioritize on their film noir journey?
Okay, well, you can't really dive into film noir without mentioning Double Indemnity.
A stone-cold classic.
It's the gold standard.
Right.
Insurance fraud never looked so good.
And it's got that femme fatale we were talking
Oh,
about.
absolutely.
Right.
Barbara Stanwyck as Phyllis Dietrichson.
Yes.
She is the definition of seduction and danger.
Oh, she's good.
The way she manipulates poor Fred McMurray's character, Walter Neff.
Oh, it's something to see.
It's both thrilling and terrifying at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy Wilder's direction,
A master.
pure genius. The dialogue is just like it crackles, this wit and suspense. You are on the edge of your seat from beginning to end. And visually stunning, too.
What more could you ask for?
If you want to see how those visuals, that dialogue, the performances, all come together to just create this unforgettable noir experience,
Yeah.
Double Indemnity's a must-watch.
It's going straight to the top of my list.
Okay, good.
Okay, so from insurance scams, let's jump to the dark side of Hollywood, right?
Oh, yes.
Sunset Boulevard,
Sunset Boulevard.
faded silent film star, a screenwriter who's seen better days, a mansion full of secrets.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's perfect.
That doesn't get more noir than that.
And this one is directed by Billy Wilder as well, right?
It is.
Okay.
And he just masterfully uses those classic noir elements, but to create this really scathing critique of Hollywood.
Oh, interesting.
That obsession with fame and beauty.
Yeah.
Gloria Swanson.
Yes.
Oh, she gives a tour de force performance as Norma Desmond.
Wow.
This woman who is desperately clinging to the past.
Yeah.
It's a story about ambition, delusion, the price of stardom, which, I mean,
themes.
they resonate just as strongly today.
Absolutely.
Plus, you know you love a little bit of satire.
Always.
And Wilder, he delivers that in, like, spades.
I am sold. Okay, so for something completely different, how about Laura? I've heard it's a must-watch, but it's a murder mystery where the victim kind of steals the show.
Yes.
That's a new one for me.
It's a fascinating case, really. The film unfolds from the perspective of the detective who is investigating her murder, and yet she's such a powerful presence.
Okay.
It's almost as if her memory is haunting the film,
Interesting.
shaping everyone's perceptions of her.
So it's playing with those classic noir themes of obsession and perception,
Yeah.
but adding this whole other layer of mystery,
Right.
intrigue. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can't wrap up this deep dive without at least mentioning one hidden gem.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have in mind?
You gotta have a wild card pick.
Okay, right.
For those who've seen all the big names,
For that, we're going with the big combo.
the big combo. All right, I'm intrigued.
This one often gets, overlooked
Really?
in favor of the more famous noirs, but trust me, it is a powerhouse. Cornel Wilde.
Okay.
He plays this relentless cop. Richard Conte
Yeah.
is a ruthless gangster.
Oh,
And Jean Wallace, she's caught right in the middle.
so it's really a battle for her soul, almost.
It's a story about obsession, revenge, that corrupting influence of power, and it is visually stunning.
You said it was visually stunning.
John Alton, the cinematographer,
Yes.
breathtaking. He uses those deep shadows, those stark contrasts, to create a world that is both beautiful and dangerous.
You had me at beautiful and dangerous.
It's a masterclass in noir aesthetics.
I love it. The big combo. Okay, so there you have it, folks. Double Indemnity, Sunset Boulevard, Laura, and the big combo.
Yeah.
4 films that perfectly capture that dark allure of film noir.
They're great starting points.
Absolutely. And the best part is this is just the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Right. This is a whole world of shadowy characters, twisted plots, thought-provoking themes.
So many more films to discover.
They're out there waiting to be discovered. So
Yeah.
get out there and start watching. And as you delve deeper into this genre, remember what we talked about. Pay attention to those recurring tropes. Those visual cues, those morally ambiguous characters, they'll help you unlock, like, the secrets of film noir.
Exactly.
And understand why it continues to fascinate us.
Why we're still talking about it all these years later.
Exactly. And who knows, you might even see the world a little differently.
A little bit of noir in your own life, right?
Through a lens of shadows and secrets. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some serious film watching to do. Until next time, happy viewing.